So we were talking before about, with the exception of Christie, it was a great night for progressive politics, I think, a couple of weeks ago from de Blasio. And I agree with you that McAuliffe did. He also ran on Medicaid expansion. He did run a progressive campaign, but there's no
And he ran
question.
on raising the minimum wage.
Raising minimum wage.
Not
He
that
ran
he
a
can
very.
do, raising the state. I mean,
But he's his record and who he is and what he represents as a pretty transactional fundraising guy is something that, to say the least, progressives are going to be skeptical of. And I think just average voters who are not, maybe genuinely more in the middle or genuinely kind of looking for the types of issues that, someone like Elizabeth Warren would raise, are going to have some allergy to him. And that's probably why in some ways it was so close. I mean, that election could have been a blowout considering who he was running against.
right.
So along comes David Frum, who is, in his own quest to kind of stay politically relevant.
Who's part good moderate, who says some smart. I mean, he's
Right.
been terrific on gun safety, on immigration, other things, and part of
climate.
the time just seems to be trolling the left.
And I think this is a great example of, he has a new column which does troll the left a bit, but I think is important to address because he's basically said, look, liberals and progressives are going to be excited about de Blasio and they're excited about Elizabeth Warren's rising influence and everything. But Terry McAuliffe and kind of corporate-friendly, transactional Democrats are the future of the party.
I lost you for a second.
Oh.
It's okay. You're back.
Okay,
I
yeah.
heard de Blasio, and then we had
And then basically Frum said, look, that's what liberals are excited about, but the real future of the Democratic Party is Terry McAuliffe and kind of transactional, corporate-friendly Democrats. I don't buy it, but I want your take. I want your take on that.
All right. Well, here's why I don't buy it either.
Yeah.
Not because there isn't a large faction of New Democrats. Thankfully, the more right-wing, socially, 19th century antebellum. There's two things I think that are important there to discuss. One is that I think obviously a number of eloquent arguments have been made. When you look at some of the people that are getting elected now, you still have to look at the victory de Blasio won and Elizabeth Warren and some of the voices. You've got people like Sherrod Brown and Tom Harkin who are in the swing state Midwest are two of the strongest voices on protecting Social Security. The culture of the party has changed. It has moved to the left. There are things that you used to be able to argue for, and it wasn't even controversial, or at least it only was among certain segments, like the way you could be for these free trade deals and only labor would fight with you. Now, a huge amount of the base and members of the House and Senate are already walking away from these new free trade deals. It's not to say they may not get passed. It's just to say that the party is in a different place. But in addition to that, the overall electorate is in a different place and has moved to the left. The electorate's getting younger. It's getting more mixed ethnically, racially. It's becoming more female. It's becoming more urban. It's becoming more educated. All these things we know. And so what I would say to you is it doesn't really, what Terry McAuliffe personally believes doesn't really matter to me.
Right.
Do I care what is in somebody's heart, or do I care what they do? He felt to win that race in Virginia, he had to run as an out-and-out progressive, right? And so de Blasio, I believe, and Warren really believe that. But in the end, about one of the examples I can think of, politicians change all the time. Lyndon Johnson originally was a segregationist.
Yep.
Gave us our best civil rights legislation of the century. Harry Truman originally came up with the local machine tied to the mob in Kansas City. You know what I mean? And look at the Kennedys, for example, who turned on the mob. How you get there and what you choose once you're there, and that's what's going to be very interesting looking forward about Hillary Clinton, who obviously is very tied to the DLC, but is a pretty smart politician. And I think that really in the end, the energy in the Democratic Party is towards having a progressive run and do progressive things. And the question is, which of there will be people that were much more moderate before that you will suddenly see moving to the left. We've already seen it, and we saw it in that McAuliffe campaign.
I think that's exactly right. And in some ways, the most validating thing of progressive politics and where we're going is the fact that someone like Terry McAuliffe, who is always savvy at positioning himself, is positioning himself there. I think you're exactly right. Cliff Schecter.
And not just, And I'll just say quickly,
Yeah.
not just positioning himself there in New York, Massachusetts, whatever,
No,
in Virginia.
Totally. Cliff Schecter, so good having you on.